Hey guys, my name is Dave. I'm a teacher, and in this video I want to show you a little but simple technique to improve your classroom management. This technique is called phases. You need different phases within your 45 minutes of teaching. Maybe you will say now, oh, of course, when I was at university to become a teacher, I learned this. They told me this all the time. Make different phases, make the lesson interesting. Don't just talk for 45 minutes and so on. So what I want to tell you is these phases are really important, especially at a young age of the children or youngsters. If you just keep talking for 40 minutes, they will not be able to listen to you for all that time. If you let them work for 45 minutes by themselves in absolute silence, most of them won't be able to do that for more than 20 or 30 minutes maximum, and your lesson will be still less effective. So for me, there are two types of phases that are very important. The first phase is the one where you let your students work alone by themselves. This might be just for 1 minute, it might be like 2 or 3 minutes, sometimes even 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the task and on their capabilities. So you need to make sure that within this short sequence of, let's say, 5 minutes, they are really working by themselves in absolute silence. They will need the silence to be productive. If they'll keep talking, or if you tell them, okay, you can whisper, they'll just keep on talking. You need to tell them that they just need to be absolutely quiet for these few minutes. You need to make sure that they are quiet for this short sequence. If you still have a student that keeps talking, maybe just re-sit him somewhere else where he won't be sitting right next to somebody else. And if somebody's really disturbing, just kick him out of the classroom for 5 minutes and tell him that that will have a consequence, of course, because you had to kick them out, but also that when they have calmed down, they can come back into class and hopefully work better on the topic. So make sure that these phases have a good focus so the children or teenagers can really focus for just a few minutes in absolute silence. They need to learn that it needs to be quiet for them to focus on something and be much more productive in a short amount of time. So that was the first thing. The second thing that to me are very important are partner or group phases. These might also just be 1 or 2 minutes. You give them a task. First they have to do it by themselves, and then you give them 1 or 2 minutes to discuss their solutions. They will learn from each other. They will see, at one time I'll be better than my neighbor, the other time I'll be less good at this topic, but they'll learn a lot from each other. And what you can also do to make sure that they'll actually discuss the topic and not their private life, you tell them before you give them the task that after the session or the sequence, you will pick 1 group or 2 groups who have to tell what they have discussed. This will make sure that they'll at least discuss the answers to the solution for an amount of time before they switch to their private life discussions. So just make different phases in your classroom. You can also talk as a teacher, make inputs. You'll always have to do that, of course, as a teacher. You'll have to explain a theory. You'll have to explain a formula in maths. You'll have to explain some grammar in languages. But keep them short and then switch to a phase where they work by themselves, and switch to a short phase where they'll have a quick discussion. Then you'll have some solution finding within the whole class, and then you give them another little task that might be just one short part of the paper, of the exercise on the paper, and then you just go on. So make sure you have different phases, because imagine you were 6-year-old, 10-year-old, 15 years old, you're sitting in a class, there are 20 or 10 of your friends, it will be really hard to focus doing just one thing for 45 minutes, be it listening to the teacher for 45 minutes, be it working by yourself for 45 minutes. Only very, very few students can really do this, so just make sure you'll keep different phases, and this will make the class more interesting, but also in combination with a cold calling technique or the putting up signal hand that I talked about in other videos to keep the flow in your 45-minute session. So, do different phases in your classroom, and hopefully you'll have better classroom management and more productive students. See you next time.